Page 64, theme from the Surprise Symphony, a very famous symphony by Haydn. Again, I encourage you just to search out Surprise Symphony and listen to it. Now on page 62, it's where they're starting Unit 5. They have some exercises and things in there for reading bass clef notes. You have some new notes in the staff to learn. The D, E, F, and G for C position. You've been using these notes. They're not new notes for you, I wouldn't think. You've had these. They're introducing the bass C pentascale. Well, that sounds terrible. What is it? Yeah, I'll break it down. A pentascale, remember, is 5 notes scale. It's a pentascale, big deal. It can start anywhere. 5 notes. The bass C, we're coming down here. This C. So you start on that note, and it's a pentascale, which means you're here. Okay, big deal. If they talk a little bit about the stems, unless you're into handwriting music, you don't have to worry about it too much because there's a lot of exceptions to these stems. But generally the idea is they try and keep the note and the stem pretty much in the staff as much as possible. So when the note is on the lower middle space, and it doesn't matter if it's bass clef or treble clef, either one, the lower middle space or below, the stem's going to go up. And when it gets on the middle line or above, the stem's going to go down. Wouldn't worry about it again unless you're into handwriting music. If you're using software, music software to help you, it generally will do the stems automatically for you. But as I said, there's exceptions to the stems, so look out. They give you a bunch of bass clef melodies. You can go through and read those. If you have any questions on them, let me know. Now at the top of page 64, they're introducing a new symbol, a staccato symbol. Can't talk. I need more wine or coffee or something. It is a dot below or above a note. And there are other symbols for staccatos, but let's get this one. You see, in music you have a choice. You either connect the note or you don't connect it. That's it. What are you going to do? If you connect the note, it's called legato. You connect the notes. If you don't connect the note, it's called staccato. Now, if you don't connect the note, then the question is, how short is the note? How staccato is it? We're going to start with the short ones, and we'll get to the longer ones later. Let's take a pentascale here. I connected those, that's legato. If I disconnect them, that's staccato. How disconnected they are kind of depends on how fast I'm going. If I go slow, that's staccato, but I can go short. That's a short staccato, and that's the kind of staccato we're going to work on, short staccatos. The technique, there's different techniques. The first one we're going to do is known as the wrist staccato or hand staccato, depending on what country you're from. It's where you flex at the wrist. The hand does the work. I'm on the key. If I'm going slow, I'm on the key and I'm just bouncing off each time. Boom, boom. If I go quickly, I don't have time for that. I have to do this. But it's a very small motion. It's not a big one. Don't go waving high at the piano. It's just a real small one here. So at the beginning, it's a... I'm just flexing at the wrist here on these. Short. That's what the dot means. Just play them short. That's part of articulation, so I'll come back to that when I get to the articulation part of learning a piece of music. Before, the only articulation we've had were the slurs and the accents. Now we get staccatos too. So let's look this surprise thing over. It's 2 lines long, treble bass clef, 4/4 time signature, a bunch of quarter notes and half notes, and some rest stuck in there. Right hand first, because the hands are playing together. The right hand starts here. The right hand's not moving around. They didn't give you any other finger numbers. Well, good for them, because you don't need them. So it's here, just, and I connect everything at first. Forget the staccatos right now, just. Did you recognize those notes? Recognize that as a broken C chord? It is. The left hand does that. Left hand, well, you're down here. And this one, you're playing the same notes, same broken C chord. But in the last measure of that line, you got to come up here to thumb on B. You just lift up and move. You have 4 beats rest to do it in. Any time in there, you could just come up. Then they want you to come down here. Ugh. Now, part of beginner piano playing is you keep your hands in a nice 5-finger position, a nice pentascale position, and just moving the hand around. As the music gets more difficult, you're gradually going to start getting out of that. You're going to start spreading out or crunching up. You're not going to be in a nice... We've already been moving around, but sometimes we just reach out and scrunch it. Okay. I want to start that now. They're not starting it yet, but I am starting it now because I'm a mean teacher and that's the way I do it. In the last measure of the first line, instead of here, I don't want 3rd finger on that because the C's coming up. I want to prepare for it. So instead of 3rd finger, I'm going to use 2nd finger because that puts me closer. I can reach the C from there. So in the last measure, here, no, it's here. Just come down a little bit. Use 2nd finger on that. And that way, going on, I'm right there. And when I play the first one, then I can collapse back into a 5-finger position. And then in the 2nd line, 3rd measure, I got to come back up here, but I'm still going to do it 1-2. Here, I'm kind of just spreading out here a little bit is all I'm doing. I'm back here. That's all. So it's 2nd finger on the G in the last measure of the first line, and in the next to the last measure of the 2nd line. That's all. And then put the hands together. Get the idea? You put the hands together. I already did. Then go back through it carefully, as slowly as you need to. I can't talk as slowly. More wine, please. And take out the hesitations. And once we have that, then I think about the articulation. Here they give you a bunch of staccatos and an accent at the end. So it's just, I'm on the key, I'm bouncing off. Half notes are not staccato. Then the last measure, you get just a little louder on the last. It's an accent. Then the dynamics, well, it's soft. P at the beginning. This is both hands. And the last note at the end is loud with an accent, makes it very loud. So, and that's the surprise. He actually has it in the symphony where he's playing along real gently and then all of a sudden out of nowhere, boom. That's why it's called a surprise. It's kind of funny. And it's a neat effect if used rarely. Then the speed, cheerfully. Be happy. It's an order. Wake them up. In the middle of the page, you see the word octave in the little box. I've already been talking about octaves. An octave is an interval of an eighth. Oct means 8. Letter to letter. C to C, F to F, D to D, wherever. Those are octaves. Remember, I've been telling you to go up an octave and all that? That's all. It's an octave. Let's play it together very slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not going to do any dynamics. There aren't any, really. I will do the accent at the end. I'm just not going to do it very loud. It'll just be a little louder. I will do the staccatos. I'll give us 4 counts. This is just checking notes and rhythms here. 1, 2, ready, go.